Have you ever wondered why someone who once respected you suddenly started treating you differently? Maybe they stopped listening to your opinions. Maybe they began ignoring your boundaries. Or perhaps they simply no longer valued your presence the way they once did. It's confusing because respect rarely disappears overnight. In most cases, it's lost little by little through patterns that often go unnoticed. The surprising truth is that people don't always lose respect because you're weak, unsuccessful, or incapable. Sometimes they lose respect because of small habits you repeat without even realizing it. Habits that slowly change the way others see you. The frightening part is that by the time you notice what's happening, the damage may have already been done. Psychologists often explain that respect isn't built by words alone. It's built by consistency, confidence, emotional control, and the standards you set for yourself. Every decision you make teaches people how to treat you. Every time you ignore your own boundaries, constantly seek approval, or accept behavior that goes against your values, you're quietly sending a message about what you're willing to tolerate. But here's the good news. Respect can also be rebuilt. The moment you recognize the behaviors that weaken your presence is the moment you begin changing them. Small changes in the way you speak, react, and carry yourself can completely transform the way people respond to you. In today's video, we're going to uncover the hidden reasons why people lose respect for someone. Some of these mistakes are incredibly common, and many people repeat them every single day without realizing the long-term consequences. Others are much more subtle, yet they have an even greater impact on how others perceive you. As you watch, don't just think about the people around you. Think about yourself. Ask whether you've unknowingly developed habits that are making others value you less than you deserve. Stay until the very end because the final reason is the one that destroys respect faster than almost anything else, and it's a mistake that many people continue making without ever noticing. Before we begin, if you enjoy videos about psychology, Sigma mindset, human behavior, and self-improvement, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Now, let's uncover the hidden reasons why people lose respect for you, and more importantly, how you can stop it before it's too late. You say yes too often. One of the fastest ways people begin losing respect for you is when you say yes to everything. At first, it feels like the right thing to do. You want to be helpful, reliable, and easy to get along with. You don't want to disappoint anyone, so you agree to favors, accept extra responsibilities, and constantly put other people's needs ahead of your own. While your intentions may be good, the long-term result is often the opposite of what you expect. The more available you become, the more people begin expecting your time instead of appreciating it. What was once seen as kindness slowly becomes an obligation in their eyes. Instead of thanking you, they assume you'll always be there. And the moment you finally say no, they act surprised or even offended. Psychology shows that people naturally place more value on things that have limits. When your time and energy seem unlimited, others unconsciously treat them as less valuable. A Sigma eventually learns that saying no isn't rude. It is a form of self-respect. Every no to something that doesn't matter is a yes to something that does. The goal isn't to become selfish, it's to become intentional. Help when you truly want to, not because you're afraid of disappointing people. The people who genuinely respect you will understand your boundaries. Those who become angry often benefited from the fact that you didn't have any. You constantly seek approval. Another reason people slowly lose respect for someone is the constant need for approval. Many people don't even realize they're doing it. They ask for permission before making decisions, constantly look for compliments, or change their opinions just to avoid disagreement. At first, these habits may seem harmless, but over time they send a powerful message. You don't fully trust yourself. Confident people listen to advice, but they don't depend on approval to make every decision. They understand that no matter what they do, someone will disagree. Instead of trying to satisfy everyone, they stay focused on their values and goals. When people notice that your confidence changes depending on their opinion, they begin taking your words less seriously. Why? Because if you don't believe in your own decisions, it's difficult for others to believe in them either. A Sigma eventually understands that approval is a bonus, not a necessity. It's perfectly fine to learn from others, ask questions, and improve. But your self-worth should never depend on applause from the crowd. The moment you stop chasing validation is the moment people begin seeing you differently. Quiet confidence has a powerful effect because it doesn't need constant recognition. It speaks through actions instead of seeking reassurance through words. And once you stop looking for approval everywhere, you'll be ready to build something even more important: strong personal boundaries. You don't set boundaries. One of the biggest reasons people lose respect for you is because they never learn where your limits are. If you allow everyone unlimited access to your time, your attention, and your energy, most people won't stop on their own. Human nature often pushes people to take as much as they're allowed to take. That's why boundaries are not about pushing people away. They're about teaching people how to treat you. At first, many people avoid setting boundaries because they fear conflict. They worry that saying no will make others angry or disappointed. So they stay quiet, tolerate behavior that makes them uncomfortable, and hope the situation will eventually improve. Unfortunately, it rarely does. Every time you ignore your own limits, you silently tell others that crossing them is acceptable. A Sigma eventually learns that healthy boundaries are a sign of confidence, not selfishness. Respect grows when people know that your time has value and your principles are non-negotiable. Those who genuinely care about you will understand and appreciate your honesty. The ones who become upset usually benefited from the fact that you had no boundaries in the first place. Setting boundaries doesn't require anger or aggression. Sometimes it's as simple as saying, "I'm not available, I don't agree with that," or "that doesn't work for me." These small decisions send a powerful message. You respect yourself enough to protect your peace. And when you begin protecting your boundaries, people start paying much closer attention to how they treat you. You talk more than you listen. Another habit that quietly destroys respect is talking too much while listening too little. Many people believe that speaking more makes them appear confident, intelligent, or interesting. In reality, the opposite is often true. The people who leave the strongest impression are usually those who know when to speak and when to remain silent. When you constantly interrupt others, overshare personal details, or feel the need to comment on everything, people begin to see you as someone seeking attention instead of someone offering value. The more you speak without purpose, the less impact your words have. A Sigma understands that silence can be incredibly powerful. Listening carefully allows you to understand people, notice details others miss, and respond with intention instead of emotion. It also creates an air of confidence because you don't feel pressured to prove yourself through constant conversation. Psychologists have found that people often trust individuals who listen well because listening shows patience, emotional control, and genuine interest. Speaking only when you have something meaningful to add makes your words carry greater weight. This doesn't mean becoming silent all the time. It means choosing quality over quantity. A few thoughtful words can influence people far more than a long conversation filled with unnecessary opinions. The people who command the most respect are rarely the loudest people in the room. More often, they're the ones whose words matter because they don't waste them. You accept disrespect without responding. One of the quickest ways people lose respect for you is when they realize they can disrespect you without consequences. This doesn't mean you should react with anger every time someone says something you don't like. It means you should never allow repeated disrespect to become normal. The way you respond teaches people what you are willing to accept. Many people stay silent because they want to avoid conflict. They laugh off rude comments, ignore insults, or pretend certain behaviors don't bother them. At first, this may seem like maturity. But when disrespect becomes a pattern and you continue accepting it, people often assume you're unwilling to stand up for yourself. A Sigma eventually understands that confidence isn't about winning every confrontation. It's about calmly making it clear that certain behavior is unacceptable. Sometimes that means speaking up. Other times it means walking away and refusing to give someone another opportunity to disrespect you. The strongest people don't need to shout or threaten others to earn respect. They simply refuse to tolerate behavior that goes against their values. Their calm response often sends a stronger message than anger ever could. The moment people realize you respect yourself enough to protect your dignity, they begin thinking twice before crossing your boundaries again. You break your own promises. Respect doesn't begin with other people. It begins with the promises you make to yourself. One of the biggest reasons people lose confidence and respect is because they constantly break their own commitments. They promise to wake up early, start exercising, learn a new skill, or stop wasting time. But when tomorrow comes, they make another excuse. At first, these broken promises seem small. After all, nobody else even knows about them. But your mind knows. Every time you fail to keep your word to yourself, your self-confidence becomes a little weaker. Eventually, this lack of discipline begins showing in the way you speak, make decisions, and carry yourself. A Sigma learns that self-respect is built through consistency. Every small promise you keep strengthens your confidence because it proves you can trust yourself. The more reliable you become with your own commitments, the more reliable you appear to others. People naturally respect individuals whose actions consistently match their words. They don't need to announce their goals because their behavior speaks for them. Instead of making huge promises, start making small commitments you know you can keep. Over time, those small victories create discipline, confidence, and a reputation that no speech can replace. And the next lesson may be the most difficult because it involves a habit that many people mistake for kindness. You fear disappointing everyone. One of the most common reasons people lose respect for you is because you're afraid of disappointing them. At first, this fear seems harmless. You want people to like you. You don't want to create conflict or make anyone upset. So you say yes when you want to say no. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. You change your plans, ignore your own priorities, and constantly put other people's happiness before your own. The problem is that people quickly notice this pattern. They realize you'll sacrifice your own needs just to keep them satisfied. Instead of respecting your kindness, some begin expecting it. They assume you'll always adjust your schedule, always forgive their mistakes, and always be available whenever they need you. A Sigma eventually learns that trying to please everyone is impossible. No matter what you do, someone will disagree with your decisions. The moment you accept this truth, life becomes much simpler. Instead of asking, how can I avoid disappointing everyone? You begin asking, am I being honest with myself? Real confidence comes from living according to your values, not according to other people's expectations. The people who truly respect you won't disappear because you said no once. They'll understand that your time and your energy have value. Ironically, the less you fear disappointing everyone, the more people begin respecting your decisions. That's because confidence isn't built by pleasing the crowd. It's built by staying true to yourself. The biggest reason you don't respect yourself, the greatest reason people lose respect for you has nothing to do with them. It begins with you. The way you speak to yourself, the standards you accept, and the choices you make every day quietly teach other people how to treat you. If you constantly ignore your own boundaries, break your own promises, tolerate disrespect, and seek approval from everyone around you, you're sending a message that your own value is negotiable. A Sigma eventually realizes that respect is never something you demand, it's something you demonstrate. When you value your time, other people begin valuing it too. When you keep your word, people trust you more. When you walk away from situations that damage your peace, others understand that your standards are not for sale. Self-respect isn't arrogance. It isn't believing you're better than anyone else. It's believing you're valuable enough to protect your principles, your dignity, and your future. The people who command the greatest respect are rarely the loudest or the most powerful. They're the ones who refuse to compromise who they are just to gain temporary approval. If there's one lesson to remember from this video, let it be this. People usually follow the standards you set for yourself. Raise those standards, protect them consistently, and you'll notice that the way people treat you begins to change as well. Which of these 8 habits do you think causes people to lose the most respect? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more videos about Sigma psychology, human behavior, and self-improvement. Thanks for watching. Stay confident, respect yourself first, and we'll see you in the next video.